Jen Mall, and welcome to Nurse Connect. I am an RN and a board certified nurse coach. I believe that connecting with others is essential to living a happy and fulfilled life, and that sharing our stories not only helps us to heal ourselves, but also helps others by inspiring hope and optimism. I am so grateful to share stories of these incredible nurses on their journey, and I encourage you to find a way to share yours too. Thanks for listening in. Hey everyone, we'll jump onto this week's podcast in just a moment. But real quick, if you're a nurse coach or a leader and are interested in developing a hospital-based nurse coaching and wellness program, then I would love for you to join me in my Facebook group, Hospital-Based Nurse Coaching and Wellness Programs. In this group, we share best practices and resources, as well as trainings to help you develop a successful program, which will decrease turnover and burnout, as well as increase employee satisfaction. Of course, we know this leads to decreased serious safety events and improved patient experience. I have got a free mini course that I can send you to get started on this journey. I will drop the link below, and I hope to see you inside the group. Have a great day. Bye. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Nurse Connect podcast. I am so grateful to have my friend Jen on with me today. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to get in to hear more about your story. We've been connected for many years, so I've been a witness to your incredible journey, and I'm thankful that you said yes after me asking you a few times to come on to share your story. I hope you feel like it's the right time, and I'm just grateful for you to be here.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to be here as well. I became a nurse and I graduated in 2006 from nursing school. And before that, I had done a myriad of jobs. But the thing that drew me to nursing was the changing aspect of it. It's not always the same. And I have undiagnosed ADHD, I'm sure, because
Me too. Although it's diagnosed now, but
yeah. I just cannot sit at a computer all day, like in a chair.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Yeah.
for me. So that aspect of nursing really drew me in. And then before nursing, I was a first mate on a sailboat. I was a fitness instructor. I lived in Hawaii. I lived in Oregon, just kind of just travel around a little bit and kind of like I was working for a rafting company as well.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, before I went to nursing school. So
that's amazing. I love that you lived your life, before you got into your profession, because so many of us just dive right into school, head down, and don't really get an opportunity to do a lot of that stuff. And I just love that you experimented and flowed and tried all these different things.
Yes. And that's how I really got to know myself. I realized that I didn't want to have a job where I was chained to a computer,
Yeah.
And just on all the time in terms of the phone or whatever, the computer. It just was not the right fit.
Right.
Although the job that I had was great because I got to go to Europe once a year. I got to go to the East Coast once a year, but all the other time I was chained to a desk. No bueno.
And so when you got out of nursing school, did you go right into the ER?
I did. I did my preceptorship on the last semester in the ER, and I loved it. It was like my people,
Yes,
my pace, everything about it. And that's the only thing that I've done is emergency medicine.
Amazing. I spent 12 years in the ER between being an ER tech, a new grad, and then a nurse educator. And it is just a special group of people. If from the outside, I think a lot of people are like, whoa, they're a crazy group, but it is amazing. And the teamwork and the camaraderie and the variation in practice, like you just see a little bit of everything. And it is an incredible department and group of people. I found myself growing out of it, but that was, I think, to be expected as you kind of grow through a career. And I didn't get an opportunity to kind of figure out what I loved early on. So for me, it made sense to grow out and try
Mhm.
something different. And so, how long were you in the ER?
Um, Let me think. From 2005 till my stroke, which
Hmm.
was in 2015.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit more about what happened?
Well, it's gonna make me cry, so just
Yeah.
bear with me.
Mm.
Yeah, it happened at an AVM rupture.
Mm.
It caused hemorrhagic stroke.
Mm.
And I was sleeping with my daughter at the time because I had extra kids here. My friend was visiting from Hawaii, and I had her two little boys here as well. So I had my daughter who was 3, my son who was 5, Jordan who was 4, and Dylan who was 7. And I woke up and I realized that I'd had a stroke.
Mm.
So I needed help. And they
Mhm.
all thought that I was pulling a prank.
Yeah.
So by the time they got up, they thought that I was having fun with them. So they literally started running around the room. And I
Just
was
being
lying there
careless.
just going, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Oh.
And I'm going to leave these little kids with no one to watch them. But thankfully, my husband was home because I had the extra kids. And Jordan went downstairs and he was, pulling on his shirt and said, Mommy, ambulance. And
Oh.
he was trying to say, like, your wife's upstairs
Yeah.
needing an ambulance. But finally, I guess I had said something like grunt, but like really loud. So
Hmm.
my husband came upstairs, and when I came in the room, I said stroke. But for me, I thought that it was
Yeah.
clear. But he said when we talked about it, he said that it was garbled, and
Hmm.
I mean, but it was obvious that I was saying stroke because of none,
You knew. You knew what was
nothing.
going on.
But then he was like, are you kidding me? And he came over and he lifted up my left arm and it just fell to the
Yeah.
bed, fell on my face, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, then from that point on, I don't remember anything. I don't remember the medics coming. I don't remember throwing up on myself. So, and then the ambulance came and they took me into my ER.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. How old were you when this happened?
Um, 43.
And you have that such detailed memory of the moment it happened. And
Yes.
then and then immediately after that, that's all just I'm sure people filled in the blanks for you, but you don't remember
Right.
that part after. And so you get into your ER.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
And I guess over on the medic phone, they said that they were bringing in one of your own.
Hmm.
And I guess they actually over the radio said my name, which
Yeah.
you're not
Just
supposed
so
to
people don't
do.
know.
Yeah.
Right.
But, it was life and death. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we're bringing in one of your own.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what did that look like? Did they realize pretty much right off the bat what was going on? And
Yeah.
did you have an
The CT.
intervention?
Yeah. So the CT showed that I had a bleed. And then
Hmm.
they got my blood pressure. I had undiagnosed high blood pressure, which we never would have
At
thought
that
because
age, right. And you were
right,
so
and I'm also
active and
active. And I was like an athlete. I was a
yeah.
runner. I was a cyclist. I taught fitness classes, but
Yeah.
yeah, an undiagnosed high blood pressure. So when I got into the emergency department, my systolic was over 200, and my diastolic was also like crazy high. So they had to get my blood pressure down, and then I was transferred to Morse Avenue for brain surgery. So I
Mm.
had a craniotomy, and then I had where they went up through my groin and um, went into my brain that way as
Uh-huh.
well.
Uh-huh.
But I had open brain surgery, so they shaved just. I had long blonde hair,
Mhm.
and they just shaved the front of my head,
Must have
and
been a
I
man that did
I
that.
know.
A
And
woman
I
would not
just
have
was
left you
like,
like that.
I know. So I told him I just said shaved
Yeah,
off
take it off.
with
Yeah.
my hand. I just did this.
Yeah.
And my mom was so hesitant to cut my long blonde
I'm
hair.
sure. It's so beautiful.
I know, but she just wanted to have me whole.
Yeah. Certainly you wanted that too. What type of deficits did you have?
My left side was flaccid.
Mm,
And even when I went to Vallejo, which is the rehab facility, the
mhm,
neuro rehab facility for Kaiser, um, I still wasn't able to have any function in my arm. Like
mm,
I had a subluxation in my shoulder because it hung, 'cause
yeah.
there was no muscle tone at all.
Wow.
So it was just hanging, and that is so painful. I'm
I
just
can
letting you know,
imagine.
oh my gosh, it is the worst type of pain because it's a nerve pain. So it's like
Yeah.
almost every once in a while you'll get a sharp little zap.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
No bueno.
no. And how long were you at the rehab facility for?
I was at Morris Avenue for 4 weeks, and then I went
Mm-hmm.
to Vallejo for 3 weeks. And
Mm,
I could have stayed there longer, but they told me that I wouldn't be able to meet the next level of um, like ADLs,
yeah.
or goals. Um,
Okay.
I
So,
wouldn't meet it in time, so they said they were going to discharge me. So yeah,
wow. Yeah. Talk about putting that pressure on you to recover faster than you're able to.
right. And
Yeah.
at the time, I was thinking that I was coming home to my house, which was in the middle of remodeling.
Oh,
So
Lord.
we had gutted our kitchen completely. It was down to the studs, subflooring, exposed insulation in the walls. So I thought that I was coming home to that. And I was just like, it's unsafe.
Yeah.
We gutted our kitchen completely. And my husband was able to get it remodeled by the
Mm-hmm.
time I came home from the
Oh,
hospital from rehab.
goodness.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. But I
Yeah.
was
In the
thinking that I
middle
was
of
coming home
everything
to
else.
I was coming home to an unfinished house, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be safe for me. Please don't send me home.
Yeah. Yeah. And had you recovered some of your speech by then and some mobility?
So my speech, I think that the thing with the speech, so what you deal with in terms of this with your speech therapist is
Mhm.
not only language, but she's the one that is um the I'm trying to think of the word. She's the one that makes the rules about whether I'm on a thick and liquid diet or not.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
she kept failing me. So I had to remain on a thick and liquid diet. And I was
Ugh.
taking, I know, salt tablets as well. So I was
Oh my God.
perpetually thirsty. So
Yeah.
I would be on the lookout for water
Right.
pitchers,
Right.
water cups, empty soda cans, or, unattended soda cans. So my language, um, I had to relearn to read and write.
Wow. Oh my
Like
goodness.
when I would open a book, because I knew that I was supposed to be able to know how to
Mm-hmm.
do it,
Mm-hmm.
but I would just look at the words and they would literally be swimming. I didn't know if I
Whoa.
was supposed to go left to right,
Mm-hmm.
up, down. I didn't know those little lessons that you had in elementary school. I just
Mm.
would look at the whole page and just be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it.
Right.
So she would made a little cutout on a piece of paper so that I could just drag it across the page and then just have one or two words available.
Yes.
And it was magic. I could read just those one words.
Wow.
Yeah. So if I had the whole page to look at, I
It's too
wouldn't know
much.
what to do. But
Yeah.
if I narrowed it down, I could read.
That's
And then same thing,
amazing.
Same thing with elementary math. I would go back to my room with pieces of paper that were 2 + 4,
Mhm.
3 + 5, and I would look at my hands and go, I know that there's a way that I
Yes.
can count my fingers, but I couldn't even remember how to do that. So I would have a piece of paper that had like three plus, 2, and I look at my hands and go, I know that I can get to the answer, but I just
Mhm.
don't know how.
Mm. How frustrating when
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I know all of this, and like your brain is not working to help you out. Oh my gosh, how hard.
Yeah, it's almost like I knew it, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a pathway to the information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
interesting.
Oh, it is, not when you're like knowing it's you that's going through it, but
Totally.
from a neurology, neuroanatomy point of view, and thinking about like all these parts in the brains that we learn about in nursing school. And as ER nurses, we took care of stroke patients. And so it's like you
Yes.
logically get it, but it sure does suck when it's happening to you. And you're like, I
Yes.
can't even figure out 2 + 2. I know this. Why can't I figure this out?
Right. And
Wow.
I remember taking care of patients that they had not bleeds, they had blocks.
Yeah.
So I did TPA, and
Yeah.
I would watch them just start coming back. I didn't
Yes.
have that ability. I had to have surgery
Mm.
to suck all the blood that was inside there and remove it and then fix where it was still bleeding.
Yeah.
So I wish that I had, but then again, if I had a blockage or a clot, you know, what what would the difference be? I mean, because
Hmm.
I woken up, so I
Hmm.
would have had
They
lost
wouldn't have been
normal.
able to get that to you. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah. Wow. And so how long has it been since you had your stroke?
it's going to be 8 years this month.
Yeah. And what's your recovery been like?
I'm still recovering, if you can believe that.
Mm.
I'm I don't notice it as much because I'm in my body
Mm.
all the time. But when I see people that I haven't seen in a while, they'll comment on the way that I'm walking. So I have
Mhm.
an AFO that I have to wear on my left leg. Um, just helps with my drop foot.
Mhm.
And also my foot wants to turn in.
Mhm.
So I'm walking on the side of my foot
Yeah.
without my AFO,
Okay.
which is super painful, just letting you know,
Yeah, I'm
because you're
sure.
not supposed to walk on that,
Right.
have your ankle bend in that capacity.
Right.
But yeah, you asked me another question and
Well, I was thinking something else now because I love your the way you've used humor to kind of cope and to get through this, and you named your extremities. Would you mind sharing that?
sure, I have Lucy, which is my upper, and Larry is my leg. And I came to these. I have a friend who's an OT,
Uh-huh.
and she told me basically that the stroke made Lucy and Larry infants again. And
Mm-hmm.
I need to be patient with them because
Mm.
they're relearning the basics. So,
Damn Lucy, Larry.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think seeing you, from afar on Facebook, sharing over the last many years and having you seeing you present in person and your progression on the outside, it is incredible that you survived this, let
Yes.
alone are to the level that you're at now. I mean, I can only imagine as the person experiencing this, there's a whole lot more to that. And it's still very frustrating because you're not back to normal, right? As people probably say, like, what's normal for you, or what back to normal look like? And how has that kind of impacted your journey over the years of your new normal, your new you?
Mhm. Yeah. That's something I'm still working on because I've got to learn to love myself,
Mhm.
which I don't really do. I mean, it's
Mhm.
very hard to love
Mhm.
yourself when you can't do the things that you
Mhm.
want to do.
Mhm.
but it is what it is. And all you can do is learn from it and move
Mhm.
forward.
Mhm. And what helps with that?
I write, um, I'm writing my novel that's a memoir of um my stroke
Yeah.
and um my ups and downs and my
Mhm.
recovery.
Mhm.
And it's been a saving grace because I've been able to find humor in it, and find humor and just, I mean, I shit in an adult diaper and had my nurse encouraging me and like rooting me on.
You could do it.
You could do it. And I was just thinking in my head, I'm an adult woman
Yeah.
pooping in a diaper and being encouraged by my nurse.
Mhm. Mhm. The shit you never thought you would hear or do.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. And sharing those stories when I imagine it's been a process of at first
Yes.
talking about it is probably was incredibly difficult. But have you found as the more you talk about it and share your story, does that help?
Yes. Because one thing that really helps is you realize that you give voice for other people. Like,
Yes.
you know, other people, even though I have had a really hard time finding other stroke survivors that are
Hmm.
similar to me,
Yeah.
there are so many out there, people that are struggling and suffered a catastrophic life event. And where do you go from here? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, what do you do now? So that's
Hmm.
kind of what I'm
Yeah.
writing about, and really diving into um, my worth, my self worth,
Yes.
because I had heavily tied into being a nurse.
Hmm. Hmm. Mm. I haven't experienced what you've experienced, obviously. But that what you just said about your self-worth being tied into being a nurse, in 2020, I left a well-paying, great nursing job because I wasn't happy. And I got furloughed from my next job during the pandemic when we were isolating, when the world was, relying on healthcare to save, everybody. And here I am at home. I'm not a nurse because I'm not working. I am, struggling, and I struggled a lot. And that was what I realized after months of working through it, was that my self-worth, my worthiness was tied to being a nurse, not to me as a human, as a great person. It was tied to my profession. And
Yes,
it's taken a lot to unravel that and to put my worth in who I am. And I am perfect and beautiful just as I am, just as you are, just as you are. You are beautiful and you are worthy. And it sure takes a lot to work through that, though.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, also I was thinking, just you mentioned about not really having that support from a perspective of others that are like you. Because we had talked before about the stroke groups are old people, right? They're, typically 70, 80 years old. They are lived their
Retired.
lives. Say it again.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Retired.
Yeah, they're not in the throes of raising children and, being married and having a career and a life. Like that
Right.
stuff's already usually past for them. And so what helped you kind of get through this, or what is helping you?
It's my drive. So
Mm-hmm.
just who I am as a person. Um, like, I mean, it's sad to admit it, but I have this drive to be the best. So,
Why is that sad to admit? That's
well,
incredible.
it's just because it's served me well,
Yeah.
but it's also like a bit much.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's just like the drive. It's just sometimes I want it to just wane a little bit
Mm.
because it's always there. It's
Yeah.
100% all the time.
Yeah.
It's like I'm, it's what literally I came home from the hospital in a wheelchair and on, with a certain diet because I couldn't chew or
Yeah.
just like I had difficulty swallowing,
Yeah.
you know, and talking. I had to retrain the muscles in my diaphragm just
Yeah.
because I would say to my speech therapist that my voice sounds breathy. I said,
Yeah.
what, and so we worked on that, to take a deep breath and,
Right.
sit up tall, whatever. But yeah,
Yeah. I feel
drive.
like your drive is how you got through it and where you are now. I wonder if you didn't have that, maybe you would still be sitting in a hospital bed, in a
Yeah.
rehab center. And
Yeah.
so I see that as I'm sure it's frustrating at times because you want to already be there. You already want to be doing that thing you see and know you can do. But I think that drive is what has propelled you forward to get stronger, to continue your recovery, to get to where you want to be, rather than just
Yeah.
settling.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's also a key to this equation, which you just kind of touched on, is you know, my myself, you know, being able to push myself. Yes, I probably would still be in a wheelchair
Yeah.
if I wasn't driven like this.
Hmm. Yeah. I am so grateful that you are so open to sharing because I know this is going to connect with somebody that needs to hear your story and your message and the that you're finding purpose in your pain as hard as it
Yes.
is. Um and I hate that saying things happen for a reason because it sucks. It really sucks. You've made such a incredible opportunity from this crap
Yes.
that now you can help in sharing your story and helping somebody else.
Yeah, I've actually just reached out to a friend of mine that's a published author. I went to high school with her,
Ah,
and I have a editor now. So that's
yes.
the next step for me is working with
Yes.
her and editing it, and then hopefully get it a publisher.
Ah, I can't wait. I will buy it with you, for you. I will share it. I would love to have you back when you're ready because I just think it's incredible to have just from the outside seen you walk this journey from the beginning and hearing your story and seeing you, especially over this last year, really start to open up more about it and writing and talking and sharing. And it's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's you gotta get the lemonade out of the situation,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's make some lemon drops. Let's take it one step further
Yes.
and celebrate. Yeah. Yeah. Jen, I'm just so grateful for your time today. Thank you. Do you have any additional thoughts or anything else you want to say to share with anyone who might be listening in today?
Yeah, I think my takeaway message is don't ever give up, you know,
You are
as soon as you
worth
do
it.
that is you should just, I mean, you might as well just cash in because you cannot give up.
Yes.
Just every day we'll chip away at, you know, if it's a huge task, just break it down into bite-sized pieces. But you just got to keep doing something.
Perfect.
Keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Hmm.
Yeah.
I can't
My
wait to
dog,
see. Go ahead.
well, my dog is rolling around next to me down here. So
Aw,
I have a golden retriever and German short hair.
I love it. And they're probably your sweet little companions. Just get around with you everywhere, give you
Yeah.
love. I love that. Good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Jen. It's been lovely chatting with you, and we will catch everybody next time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.